Ryan Kerrigan signs with the Philadelphia Eagles a 1-year deal. He was no longer in the plans for the Washington football team. He signs with a division rival. He'll face Washington twice this upcoming season. Do you have issues with a guy who's spent his entire career here in Washington signing with the Eagles, a division rival, a hated rival? I don't have a problem with it at all. Look, the guy wants to extend his career. He wasn't in the plans here. That was clear to him, made clear to him by the coaching staff.
You got to respect it.
Is he supposed to just say, you know what, I'm just done?
No, of course not. And then here's the thing. You don't have to root for him.
Right.
You don't have to root for him.
Why would you? You're not going to root for him.
No. Especially when they're...
Especially if he gets a strip sack on Fitz.
Right.
That gives the Philly the ball on Washington's 12.
Listen, you're 100% rooting against him when he's playing against Washington. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to be upset when I see him make a few big plays for them against a different opponent.
No,
I don't care.
Of course not.
In fact, I'm happy for him. Cakes and I were talking about I'd like to see him hit some milestones.
And we're
he's
happy
only, 4.5 away from 100?
Yeah, he's at 95 and a half sacks right now. I mean, he's in the same neighborhood, and look, different player because of the position. This guy played on the interior line, so for him to have 96 and a half sacks, he's 1 sack away from Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
I mean, Sapp has 96 and a half. He's close to triple digits. And if he plays 3 or 4 more years and racks up 20 more sacks, I don't know, that could happen.
But there are
He's
people
going to be
that
in
are
the mix
upset.
for the top 20 all-time in sacks.
There are people that are upset. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. Believe in Nashville tweets us 100% Rick Shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's...
Hanson tweets us unfollowed him immediately.
Now, I will say this. That's stupid. When Bryce left for
He
Philly,
doesn't care. You think
it
he
was
cares?
different. It seemed more like twisting the knife, because Bryce was still sort of at the peak of his powers,
Maybe he's a
prime of
free
his
agent.
career. Yeah,
Well,
true.
they also everyone knew that was a money grab.
Money grab. It was just totally
And
different.
it was out of left field because there was no real connection to Philly. And
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, the Liberty Bell was his favorite thing ever.
Right.
And, he was always
Big
an
phony, big
Eagles
phony
fan.
Bryce.
Yeah, he showed up in the Eagles jersey.
Yeah.
But Ryan's just a different scenario. This is a guy who's trying to extend his career. Totally different scenario.
Very
I have
different.
No ill will. What were you going to say, Drabby?
I have a little bit of recent experience with this with Sherman in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I love Richard Sherman, but it killed me when he went to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And
Even though he's late in his career, he's trying to extend it.
Well, he left with a lot of animosity, and he purposely chose the 49ers to try to stick it to our team.
Right.
And I just lost a lot of zeal for him. And it can never be replaced. Now, if he could come back to Seattle, it could be fun for a year or so before he retires.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be quite the same. I'll always look at him as a kind of a traitor, to be honest with you.
You're going to look at him as a turncoat.
A little bit. I know. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
It's
but
so stupid.
Yeah, that's just the way I kind of feel.
You know what? And I heard the guys referencing this when I was driving home. It's the B. Mitch. It's the B. Mitch move, which I don't hold it against him at all. Guy's trying to extend his career. Brian ended up playing 3 years in Philly. You forget that.
And
he played 3 years in
He
Philly.
played for the Giants, too.
And he played for the Giants.
He basically played for everybody in the
Look,
NFC East.
Look, these guys got to sign somewhere when their wives are ringing up 3 and 4 credit cards.
Right.
Yeah,
All
but
right, you need that income to pay them off.
But Kerrigan said he had other offers, didn't he?
Oh, he
That's
did.
what-
He did,
well-
but you just got to go where it's best for him. Now, he doesn't care about his old employer's rival.
No. Why would he care?
Put it this way.
Some people
if
do- LeVar-
JFK donked us off,
Yeah.
we would go anywhere. We wouldn't
Right.
say, "Oh, we're going to stay away from their
Right.
rival."
If a rival station
Are you
offered us a
kidding?
deal,
Sure.
We'll go wherever.
Right, but LeVar, I remember he told me he signed with the Giants to stick it to Dan Snyder.
Okay,
Right.
sometimes that
well,
happens.
he had a personal vendetta
Right.
against Snyder
And
the
those are different
organization.
scenarios. I don't think that's what's necessarily going on with Ryan. But if he wanted to, if he was a little resentful, that's fine.
He's
You
not
sleep on the fact
Dude.
that Philly's close, too.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I don't
his
sleep
home
on
has
that.
been here.
Yeah, he's got a
To
wife and a
move
baby.
to
Doesn't have a
Cincinnati
baby.
is a big deal. Like, if you move to Cincinnati, you're not really going to be seeing your family if they stay home
Right.
here in Ashburn or wherever his home is, Leesburg. I'm going to assume it's around there. If you're in Cincinnati, that's a huge move. You're donking off 4 or 5
Well,
months.
then why would
Tom
you want
Daly
to?
moved to Cincinnati from here. I forgot what he looked like. Well, used to work here.
Why would you want to live in Cincy? But I also believe him when he says it's about playing time.
I do too. He's trying to extend his career.
These other teams may have said, yeah, there's a spot for you, but we can't guarantee you're going to get a certain amount of downs.
He got a
or
new
He
whatever.
don't
coach
wanna
last
stand
year,
there and hold his
and I'm
helmet.
sure he felt like he was producing because he was early in the season. Then he saw less and less snaps.
Right.
And look, Chase Young deserves all the snaps.
Right.
You don't take him out.
happens. It happens.
Right.
No ill will.
But there are people that are upset. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. Let's go to Marvin in Landover, line 2. Marvin, you're on with the Junkies. What's up?
Hey, fellas, it's a good morning. I'm just so glad you guys are up with me. Hey, look, y'all must be different kind of sports fans than I am. I'm sorry. I'm a hater, and I'm going to tell you right now. I cannot cheer for another player on the Eagles, Cowboys, or Giants.
You're not going to cheer for him.
Cheer for him.
No one's asking you to cheer
Nobody's
for him.
telling you to do that.
Okay, well then I can't even acknowledge that I want him to be successful at all. I don't even want him to get a sack for the daggone Eagles. I don't want
So
him
you
to
want
play
him to
for
go
the Eagles.
for all he did for you? You want him to go over there and fail?
Yes, absolutely, because I want every Eagle to fail. That's the problem. I hate the Eagles. I hate the Giants, and I definitely hate the Cowboys. I hate them so much that I don't want anybody on their team to do good at any time because it hurts my team. So when he went to the Eagles, he destroyed my ability for me to go, okay, let's see him do some great things because I don't want anybody on the Eagles to do great things.
All right, but this is what you have to – but Marvin.
When college players go to the Eagles, like Devontae Smith, I loved him. I don't want him to do good.
I understand that
hate
part
the
of it.
Eagles.
But you can't hate on him for making the decision because he's doing it for his family.
I don't hate on that. I want him to make as much money as possible. Make your family right, that's okay. But when he did that, it robbed me the chance to sit there and enjoy the last parts of his career because I cannot stand the NFC East teams. I do not want them to do good on any play. On any play. I want every play to be a negative. So how can I sit there and say, oh, Ryan Kerrigan did great on that play? I don't want that.
Well, no
We're
one's
not even going to see it. You're mostly going to miss their games.
No. Look, don't misconstrue it.
I watch every one of them.
No one's asking Washington fans to root for him or feel great when he gets a sack for another team. You just have to understand why he made the decision because you would do the same thing. Washington fans would do the exact same thing.
Just saying, don't be stupid. That's all.
Just don't be hateful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Bryce thing. Even Bryce, I mean, whatever. It's free country. Do whatever you want. Free agent. He earned it. He wanted to sign a big long-term deal. We should all be so lucky. How much did Bryce get? What did he get?
330, I thought.
Did he get 330? Yeah, get something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
like
I mean,
13-year deal.
I mean, how could
Something
you
like
even
that.
hate? At the end of the day, how could you even hate
No,
on that?
you can't.
But that was still a little different. That was like twisting the knife. This is a guy trying to extend his career. I have zero animosity.
Yeah, but even with Bryce, that was the best deal. You can't hate on Bryce even though there was no connection. It was the best deal. He's just trying to go out there and make as much money as he can.
And he didn't want it all deferred.
Yeah, he didn't want to be paid like in
He didn't want
2070.
$150 million deferred. Who knows if he's going to be alive?
About that was a little annoying because you could say, well, they were going to give him $200 million. I mean, come on, what's the difference? But you're right. You're right.
You want that money in hand, Jason. You know that. You don't want it down the line.
I think the real difference, though, between your opinion on Kerrigan and Bryce Harper is Kerrigan's a likable guy. Okay, we've met
And
him.
Bryce wasn't that
Bryce
likable.
isn't really.
Yeah.
Right.
I hung out with Bryce for an hour once. He was all right.
You didn't love it.
He was all right. He wasn't great. He was all right.
Well, look, Kerrigan would come sit down with us at spring or at training camp shows. Bryce would never sit down with us
Not unless he's getting paid.
when we were doing shows down there.
all right, let's go to Joe in Baltimore, line 1. Joe, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Just real quick, my thoughts on this is I kind of agree with you guys. Like, Ryan Kerrigan, he was such a good guy, and Washington was such a three-ring circus when he was here. He was the only one who was really you could count on. So I have nothing but respect for him. I hope he has a good career in Philly. I mean, of course, I'm not going to be rooting for him, but just one thing, and I'll hang up. I don't think he was as good as Dexter Manley or Charles Mann. That's just my opinion. He was a good player, B-plus player, but I wouldn't put him in the category with those other two players. Thanks, guys.
I don't know. I would love to see Dexter's numbers. I feel like Dexter had some really incredible moments, but it was also a better team. It was a better era,
Yeah, of
more
course.
exciting era. But Ryan's had some great moments too. But it's just for a sad franchise. That's just the difference.
I don't know. How many sacks did Dexter end up with?
I don't know, because Dexter had so much off the field
He had
stuff.
97.5.
But how much did he have
Dexter
with
just had
Washington?
more spectacular seasons.
Oh, yeah, he
because
did.
Kerrigan had a couple seasons at 13 and a half.
Yeah. Dexter had
Dexter
19
had a
one year.
15 and he had an 18 and a half.
He was first team All-Pro in 86.
Well, also Dexter was such a great quote. Dexter's just such a likable guy, even to this day.
I forgot. He finished his year with Phoenix and then Tampa.
Yeah. Well, how many sacks did
But
Dexter
that's an example,
have
by
here?
the way. It's an example. Dexter is beloved here, okay? And he
Here he had
finished
about
But that's
91.
also from winning championships.
right. He had 91 sacks
Here?
as a
Yes.
as a member of the Washington Redskins, with 4 seasons in double digits.
Yeah.
Starting in 83 with 11, then 13 and a half, then 15, then 18 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But at a similar age, at 31, he bounces and he ends up in Phoenix, and then he bounces to Tampa to close his career. It just happens when these guys get older.
Yeah.
But, look, he had a better run here in Washington than Kerrigan did. That 4-year stretch
A little
from
more
83
spectacular, but the teams were better.
Of course. He was winning Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let me see. 800-636-1067 if you want to chime in. Let's go to DJ, line 3. DJ in D.C. What's up, man? You're on with the Junks.
What's going on, John? What's
Hey,
going
buddy.
on, John?
Hey, DJ.
What's up,
Good.
bro?
I understand what Brad was saying, but I'm also torn as well too. I can understand where he's coming from with that, but hey, we didn't want him, so there's that aspect.
Right.
Then my thing is, it can't be because of proximity, because you have Pittsburgh right there, so it has to be possibly because of the playing time. So my thing is, I'll root for him when he ain't playing my squad, because he's a good player for me.
By the way, Philly's closer
that's
than
totally-
Pittsburgh, by the way.
It's totally
Way
fair.
closer.
It's way
Yeah,
closer.
I mean, but we're talking about what? Maybe
An
40,
hour.
50 miles?
No.
that's what I'm saying. Come on,
It's like the difference between 2 hours away and like
Pittsburgh's
4.5
a
hours away.
4-hour death march.
All right, so it's a couple hours. It's not that big
Yeah.
of a deal.
It's a couple hours. I mean, but it's close enough. I mean, apples and oranges. Man, now, we talk about Dexter and Kerrigan, no comparison, man. You had a game plan for Dexter, plain and simple. They would double and triple inject Dexter, and he was still knocking your quarterback out of the game.
Yeah.
Every game almost. I mean, that's what he was.
Yeah, he was more
player.
dominant,
Dexter
yeah.
was a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. But I feel for Kerrigan, man. I mean, I think we should have kept him in rotation, but that's their decision. I can't make it, but I'm torn on that.
Do we even know
Because
if they
I hate
offered
to
him
eat.
like
I hate to eat.
a small
No.
deal to just be?
I haven't heard that.
A backup.
I
Do
haven't
we
heard
even
that.
know? He seemed to know at the end of the year when he took that extra 10 minutes when everybody left the stadium and he
Yeah.
was walking around. He knew.
He kind of
Dude,
knew it was a guy.
Rivera
He knew.
doesn't have loyalty to these guys. I mean, Sundberg's gone. What
Yeah.
did Nick Sundberg do against Ron Rivera? It's his long snapper.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and he was one of the best ones in the league.
I think they think it was simply a health thing. They didn't think he could come back from his surgery.
My point is, new coach comes in, he moves on from
Yeah.
these guys.
He's gonna bring
there's
his
no doubt.
guys in.
There is no loyalty.
No.
There's no loyalty. Especially if they've got young guys, like Montez and Chase ahead of you.
So I don't think Washington offered him any deal.
I don't know.
They probably said, go look for a deal because we're not giving you one.
What I read is there
Yeah.
was a window of opportunity, but a very small window.
Right.
And he probably just didn't feel any love. It
Yeah.
might have been, maybe they gave him some sort of
Yeah,
nominal.
but he already knew how it was going to play out.
Yeah.
He saw it played out last year,
Yep.
and he wasn't happy.